in is very steep and rocky, so there must be hundreds of dassies living here. It's just a matter of waiting for them to appear. It's not long until that happens, and soon I have my sights set on dassie number 3. It's a good shot right in the head, and he definitely doesn't know what's hit him. With the rain clouds moving in closer, we decide to take one last shot for the day. This one's from about 40 meters out.
Yeah. I'm so happy with that day. Oh my goodness. Again, I didn't have a very sturdy rest. I've got the bipod on here, but it's not so easy to lie down on these sharp rocks. So I just kind of kneeled down, again put my elbow on my knee and took a shot like that. And he was very well hidden in a bush down there amongst the rocks. I could struggle to find him, but when I did get the crosshairs on him, I aimed a little bit low because of the angle, and just watched him drop on the spot with a loud thud. So I'm very happy with that. Let's go collect him.
Of course, we had to retrieve everything we shot, and that in itself can be quite scary in this terrain. But there's quite a lot of meat on these animals, so we definitely don't want to let anything go to waste. Right, I bet you didn't know this, but the closest living relative to the dassie is actually the African elephant. And if you look at this animal quite closely, if you look at the dental structure, you'll see that the dassie's teeth are actually very similar to the elephant. They even have small tusks. Although they're only really, really short, you can see that they're actually tusks and not teeth. Very, very interesting. But let me just explain the reason why we're actually shooting these animals, because I obviously don't want you to think that we're just coming out here and shooting for sport. Number one, they actually compete with the livestock here for food. There are a lot of game animals on this farm and a lot of sheep on this farm. And 5 dassies, if you put 5 dassies together, they actually consume as much as a fully grown sheep. So a few of these aren't a problem, but if you've got a heck of a lot on the farm, they actually start competing with your livestock. And so every now and again, we generally like to come out here and thin out their numbers just a little bit. Another thing you may not know about them is that they like to eat a plant called speckboom. Speckboom is one of the most important plants in many game animals' diets. A lot of animals that are browsers, that eat bushes, need nutrients. Because this place is so dry, and they get a lot of their nutrients from the speckboom tree. These dassies love the speckboom tree, and so they're competing with the game animals as well, and that's why we shoot them as well. So that's our first dassie down. It is starting to rain now, so I think we're gonna kind of pack up and leave for the next few hours, but as soon as the rain clears, we're keen to head out here again and do some more shooting. I'll see you then. The next morning we awake to some absolutely beautiful weather. There's still a bit of wind to deal with, but the sun is shining, and that's a really good sign. Dassies like to sun themselves on the rocks, especially in the winter when the holes in the rocks can get very cold. There are many potential hunting spots to explore, so we climb on the back of the truck and begin our search. We decide to park off on the side of the road and move towards the rocks on foot so that we don't scare the dassies off. We scan the rocks all around for movement and don't see anything for quite some time, but despite this, there are signs all around that confirm that we're in a good location. Well, what comes in has to go out, and if you look at the amount of droppings all over this road, you get an idea of how much these animals actually eat. You don't think that they eat a lot because they're quite small, but there are a lot of them on this property, and I have a feeling that they probably cross this road quite a lot. There's rocks up there, and there's a whole lot of rocks down here heading down into the valley, so they probably kind of have to cross this road quite a lot to get between their holes. Yeah, a lot of droppings, which means a lot of dassies, which means a lot of shooting. So let's get back to work. This morning we've decided to bring Anton with us to help us find some animals. Anton is the boy on the right. He grew up on this farm and he knows this place like the back of his hand. He tells us to focus on the rocks that have rolled down the valley, and he's absolutely right. Before we know it, we have our first dassie of the day. I just shot a dassie down there, nice and close, probably about 20 meters or so. I think I got him in the head because he dropped straight down, so Just gonna put the gun down and go fetch him. Right, well the wind has picked up a lot. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone, but it's really blowing now. So basically any shots over 50 meters are going to be extremely difficult to get. I do have that weather flow wind meter, but the wind is gusting so much that it's almost pointless trying to... there's a dust here. Kudu bull. This is our guide Anton. He's going to be helping us to find animals today. He's just spotted a kudu bull, so we're going to go check him out and maybe film him a little bit. It's always such a treat to see animals like this. Whether you're hunting them or not, there's something so majestic about the kudu, and when you see them up close, it really just takes your breath away. This property has a wide variety of game, and so if you spend some time here, you're bound to see some interesting animals. We've had a decent start to the morning, but we decided to move on to another spot. The sun is starting to bake down now, and we're quite confident that we can bag a few more dassies if we just keep moving. While driving, we spot some movement across the valley, so I tell the driver to stop and I set up for the shot. This one's a long way off at over 100 meters, but I've done the maths. I'm in a comfortable shooting position and the impact does the rest.
There's another one, there's another.
Where?
There's another one.
Just to the left, 2 meters left.
Okay.
They move.
Moving over.
Oh, it's gone. That was 101 meters on a dassie. He's looking straight at me. I got him just here in the spine and he kind of just dropped down at the back there. So 100 meters with this gun, and all I did was I basically ranged him with the rangefinder, and then I've got all my holdover values here, and I used the 15-degree angle number at 10x magnification, and he dropped straight down. So gun's done its job once again. I'm absolutely amazed at what this gun can do, even in the wind like this. We've got this right over here, the weather flow wind meter. You put it in the phone, it spins, and it puts straight into an app on our phone. It tells me what I need to hold for the wind. So it's almost too easy. It's just a matter of pulling the trigger.
Luke spots a head peeking out from behind a rock, a long way off. So I hand him the impact, he sets up in a prone position, and he absolutely nails the shot.
Yeah.
Luke is a very experienced shooter. In fact, he probably knows more than me about ballistics. So I shouldn't have been surprised that he hit it, but nevertheless, it was a bit of a shock to the system to see him pull it off so well.
Oh my goodness. So Luke just put in the ultimate shot, something I don't think I'd be able to do. Luke just shot a dassie at 144 meters with the air gun. We waited for the wind to calm down. He held, I think, 2 or 3 mil dots for the wind, and I think 7.4 or 8 mil dots for the drop. Took the shot, and we all heard this solid thud. It's an unmistakable sound. That means he hit the dassie, and it hasn't appeared again. So I think he put in a really good shot in it. That is absolutely insane. 144 meters. What the heck? I think we're gonna have to call it a day there, because I know I can't outdo that. Nice.
Well, I said we might call it a day there, but we're having so much fun that we decided to try just one more spot out. So it's back on the truck, and eventually we get into a stunning valley that's sheltered very well from the wind. There's another rock face just off to the side of the road, so again it's just a matter of parking off, setting up on the back of the truck and waiting patiently. This one is hit right in the lower neck. It's a good ethical shot, and he doesn't go anywhere. We move the truck about 50 meters forward so we can see the rocks from a different angle, and this time I decide to fit the scope cam to the rifle once again so that you can see the shots from my perspective.
Go for it. Go for it.
This one is a beautiful shot, and when you look at it in slow motion, you can see why he dropped so quickly. The pellet impacts right in the chest, passing through the vitals before breaking the spine. Hot shots by themselves, although very effective, usually take a few seconds to kill these animals, which is a problem because they are able to run down their holes. A shot to the spine is ideal because it kills them on the spot. Shot placement is extremely important when hunting these animals as they are very tough, but if your placement is good, you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. For some reason, the dassies at this spot seemed a bit slow to figure out that they were in danger, and when another one pops up, I take the opportunity. This one is a perfect headshot right in the forehead, and he doesn't even move an inch. One of the best things about hunting in beautiful locations is that even when the animals you're hunting don't show themselves for a while, there's always something to see. This Cape Robin chat appeared right next to us, and we were able to film it for quite a while, which was a real bonus. The hunting regulations in South Africa state that each person is only allowed to shoot 5 dassies per day. So at this point, I hand the impact over to Luke, and shortly afterwards he gets his opportunity.
Got him.
Fast. How was that, Luke?
That was cool. Very uncomfortable, but it was great.
I wasn't joking earlier when I said that Luke knows how to shoot. This was a perfect spine shot, and I think that's pretty impressive for someone who hasn't had any experience with this rifle. And all that's left to do now is to climb up the rocks and to retrieve all the dassies we'd shot. Right, here's the dassie that rolled off from the top. Let's take a look where I hit him. I think I can feel the pellet here. I actually feel the pellet in his back, so I'm gonna have to dig that out and see what it looks like. But there, that's where I hit him right there. I aimed a bit low because I thought the pellet might travel up, but it hit exactly where I aimed, right underneath his neck here. It would have gone straight through his body, through his spine, through his vitals and out his back. And as you'll see in the video, he dropped straight down. So yeah, and this is a decent sized dassie as well. They usually have their young around the end of the year. So this one would be minimum 6 months old. Probably even longer, probably even older than that. Right, let's go get the other, shall we? They're just up on the top here. And then I actually can't remember who shot what, but here's the one, and it looks like this was a perfect headshot. There's blood coming out of his eye and out of his nose. It would have dropped straight down. Here's one, a big male. This is definitely not a baby. Yo, big one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately with dassie hunting, one of the big drawbacks is that even if you get a really good headshot, they can fall down between the rocks where their holes are, and they're just so deep, the cracks are so thin, there's absolutely no ways you're going to get them. So we only managed to pick up 3 out of the 4 that we shot on this rock over here. So we're missing one, but that's just the way it goes, and I'm sure it won't go to waste. There's so many scavengers here, so many predators that I can bet you within the next few days it will be eaten. Cool, let's take these down and put them with the rest. Well, that's where we're going to call it today. Come in here, Anton.